the Heavenly Father and His Son, Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rakaha Kadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of the Great Millstone, and shalom to the Lord's hopeful elect. All right, back with hopefully another edifying lesson through the spirit, power, and strength of Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rakaha Kadash. This one will be entitled Prayer and Fasting, a spiritual one too. Right, as you know, like in the world, they say that 1-2 punch. Right, so prayer and fasting, it's in that effort, right, that it'll knock out these strongholds that we're fighting, so it's important to use them at the same time, prayer and fasting. When you're praying, well, when you're fasting, you should be praying and you should be reading the word, right? So it's like you're throwing combinations at these demons, man. All right, let's start it over at Luke 19 and 45, going downward. And he went into the temple and began to cast out them that sold therein, and them that bought, saying unto them, It is written, My house is the house of prayer, but ye have made it a den of thieves. When you're bringing in the wrong vibration, when these individuals was they were making the house a house of merchandise, and they was selling in the temple and doing all this stuff it's not holy. Okay, it's not set apart. Like, individuals, you bring trends into this thing of ours, things from the world, and you try to bring it in and align it with the scriptures, but it's not going to work out. It's not supposed to be in this. Okay, it's worldly, it's contrary, it's forward, right? These are forward thoughts that individuals have in their heads and in their minds when they try to align them and bring them into this thing, man. So Yahawashi was mad about this, okay? And he taught daily in the temple, but the chief priests and the scribes and the chief of the people sought to destroy him. Now, why? Because he messed up their bag. I'm sure they was getting a piece of this. Okay? They're supposed to be looking over the temple, but at the same time, you allowing these individuals to come and sell in the temple. So they knew about this. It's not just happening in private or secret. You had everybody out here at the temple selling. So the chief scribes and Pharisees, the ones that's in the top position, that's ruling over and looking over the temple and looking over the people, they're mad, they're pissed off that Yahawashi did this. All right. But it was right. And he taught daily in the temple, but the chief priests and the scribes and the chief of the people sought to destroy him and could not find what they might do, for all the people were very attentive to hear him. He had an ear to the people. All right. Because what he did was right. It was correct. These people that was making making merchandise of the house, they was going off. They was carnal. All right. So, hey, not saying it's bad to sell stuff, but that's not the place to do it. So you can have your little business. You can have all of that, but don't be tying it into the truth in that way. Like, hey, come by this Yahawashi is the king shirt, or Yahawashi on my hat. I'm selling these $9.99. Like, no, like what? No, you know what I'm saying? So that's not the right spirit to come into. All right. Psalms 35 and 13. Let's jump over there. And it reads, But as for me, when they were sick, my clothing was sackcloth. I humbled my soul with fasting, and my prayer returned into mine own bosom. Right? So that 1-2 punch, that prayer and that fasting, you got to bring them together. You humbling yourself. You're what? You're truly trusting in Yahawah Ba'ashem Yahawashi. I don't need no food. I don't need no water. Because the true fast is no food, no water for 24 hours. And you can keep going if you want to. All right, but you're trusting in Yahawah Ba'ashem Yahawashi. You will not survive on bread alone. All right, that's carnality, where you think I just gotta eat, and really it's the flesh. Because if you understand how the body works, the temple and all these parasites and stuff that's in the food, that's in the sugar, the starch, the meat, all of this, then the more you eat, you know, the more you eat, let's say you do a 3 meal a day, which that's off, all right? But you do what Esau tells you is healthy for you, 3 meals a day. Then your body is gonna be full of those desires and urges to constantly eat, and it's never gonna have a chance to sit back, relax, and repair itself. So when you fast, your body repairs itself. It cleanses itself. It pushes out stuff that's not usable, and it brings in cells, fresh cells that can go forth and do the job of those cells that wasn't doing nothing. How Yahawah is sifting the body, he's cleansing the body, he's getting out bad cells, and he's bringing in new cells, and pushing them cells to a higher limit, man, to a higher height. So these things come by prayer and by fasting. Let's go to Daniel 9:3. Because we can see this. What I'm building is, it's a what you say, like a record. Is in the sense, it's common that King David did it, Daniel did it, Yahawashi did it. Okay, it's common amongst the prophets to pray and to fast. It's common amongst us in general to pray and to fast. Right? Daniel 9:3. And I set my face unto Yahawah power to seek by prayer and supplications with fasting and sackcloth and ashes. Sackcloth and ashes, what is that representing? You humbling down. Back in the day, right? And brothers still do it, may do it today. When they would pray and they would fast, they would put ashes upon their head. Right? It's a sense of being humble. Esther, right? What did she do? She put dung upon her head. It's a sense of being humble. Okay, so you're humbling yourself, right? And you're, hey, how about Shem Yahawashi, you all I need? And that's every day in that sense. But when you're praying and you're fasting, you take it to a whole nother level. You take it to a whole nother effort of it, right? Like, hey, not just on the Day of Atonement. That's not the only time you should fast, man. You should be fasting. Brothers got different, levels of it, but I would say at least every 2 weeks, right? At least every 2 weeks, and if you can, every week, right? What? Oh, we can get you up out of here, man. All right. All right, so keeping it going. Matthew 17:14 through 21. The account with Yahawashi, showing the power of prayer and fasting. Starting at 14, Matthew 17, verse 14. When they were come to the multitude, there came to him a certain man, kneeling down to him and saying, Adawan, have mercy on my son, for he is a lunatic and sore vexed. For oftentimes he falleth into the fire, and often into the water. He had a demon on him. That schizophrenia stuff, all of that is just simply demons, man. All right, Yahawashi back in the day, he was casting these demons up out of these individuals. He was putting them in their right mind, right? Verse 16, and I brought him to thy disciples, and they could not cure him. Then Yahawashi answered and said, O faithless and perverse generation, how long shall I be with you? How long shall I suffer you? Bring him hither to me. And Yahawashi rebuked the devil, and he departed out of him, and the child was cured from that very hour. Then came the disciples to Yahawashi apart, right, and said, why could not we cast him out? So they were wondering, they were pondering about this. Hey, why can't we do what you did? We follow you, we listen to you. Why couldn't we do this? And Yahawashi said unto them, because of your unbelief, for verily, truly, I say unto you, if you have faith as a grain of mustard seed, ye shall say unto this mountain, remove hence to yonder place, and it shall remove, and nothing shall be impossible unto you. So it's not of you. Anything is not of you. It's of Yahawah Hashem Yahawashi allowing it to be of you. Right? It was an appointed time where they would be given that power. As we see that in Acts, the 2nd chapter, the Holy Spirit being poured down. And as we see it when Yahawashi sent them out 2 by 2, or he sent the 70 out, they came back talking about, we can hey, we was able to trample over scorpions, etc., etc. So he allowed that power to be. That's why Yahawashi has to sup with us. He has to deal with us. So, to in a sense, to grow towards that, to show that effort, to get towards it, more in a sense, is to pray and fast, to show him that you desire that more. His elect will desire to be with him more. And how do you be closer to him? By praying and fasting. You don't get closer to him by, you take all the herbs, fruits, vegetables, all that stuff you want, man, but that's not going to get you closer to him. You know, it's benefits in these things. Yeah. So scriptures talk about that. But ultimately, prayer and fasting is how you grow and get closer to him, man. All right. Send it. Okay. Hey. 24 hours. Yeah. No food, no water for 24 hours. But if you haven't done that before, then don't just do that off rip. All right. Take your time. Maybe do some intermediate, right? Maybe 16 hours. Okay. Because if you never prayed and if you never fasted before, then you're going to get that headache, you know, and it's going to be painful because your parasites and stuff like that. All right. So take your time, you know, to anybody that does indulge in the fasting, right? Which everybody should, you know, especially if you're in the truth. All right. So keeping it going. Verse 19, then came the disciples to Yahawashi apart and said, why could not we cast him out? And Yahawashi said unto them, because of your unbelief, for verily I say unto you, if you have faith as a grain of mustard seed, you shall say unto this mountain, remove hence to yonder place, and it shall remove, and nothing shall be impossible unto you. Reading that again, just to state that in Jacob's trouble, when that standard is increased, as Isaiah 59:19 tells you, you know, the enemy shall come in like a flood, but the standard shall be increased. It's going to be increased with what? The men of Yahawah Ba'ashem Yahawashi, not just every Israelite. No, just the men of Yahawah Ba'ashem Yahawashi, certain men, okay, will be able to have these spiritual powers and be able to do this, right? So that's why, as it also says in Second Esdras 16 around 74, or you know, I just read it in the last lesson, but I might get it. In those days you shall know who the elect is, right? Let me see where that at. Right here, Second Esdras 16:73. Then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as the gold in the fire. So when the enemy is coming in like a flood, but brothers is getting spiritual powers, and they doing this, they rescuing 1/3 individuals, they saving individuals, they healing, right? They casting demons out, they doing all of this. The beautiful dream that Elder Malcolm had, you know, and other brothers had these type of dreams. So these things are real. It's a foreshadowing. It's showing you what's about to take place. And that's a way of Yahawah Ba'ashem Yahawashi communicating. And how is that communication amplified? By praying and by fasting, man. Okay? By praying and by fasting. You know? So you should be praying and fasting, like I'm saying, at least every 2 weeks. Right? At least. Make some time to pray and to fast. Right? Verse 21. Howbeit this kind goeth not out, but by prayer and fasting. That's the only way you knock down certain strongholds that are built up, is by praying and fasting. It's some things, like I said, you could take all the herbs you want. You know, you got the soursop, you got the duck flower, you got this, you got that, man. But ain't nothing changing. Cause this is that demon laughing at them herbs. Hey, Isaiah 58, 1-12, we gonna end it over here. Cry aloud, spare not, lift up thy voice like a trumpet, and show my people their transgression, and the house of Jacob their sins. Yet they seek me daily, and delight to know my ways as a nation that did righteousness, and forsook not the ordinance of their power. They ask of me the ordinance of justice. They take delight in approaching to power. And that's the remnant, man. Hey, shalom to my brother and do it all. All right, Yahawah Ba'ashem Yahawashi. Barakatah. Hey, shalom to the brother Kananaya. All right, and everybody else in the comment board. Okay, so we're gonna have delightful spirit when we're with Yahawah Ba'ashem Yahawashi. That's why when you praying and fasting, you shouldn't be living with no guilt or nothing like that. If you're doing what you're doing, if you doing it properly and correctly, you know, you should be in good standards in that sense. So we're gonna love it. We're not gonna be a part of those that wail on the appearing of the King. All right, many are gonna cry, mourn, and weep. But we've been waiting on this. This is what we've been waiting for. So why, you know what I'm saying? All right, so it's a difference. It's like they're gonna weep and mourn because they didn't believe it, and they like, oh, he's real. He does exist. Was that old stupid Santa Claus M&M's commercial? He does exist. They do exist. That's how they gonna be. And instead of falling out, it's just gonna be destroyed, right? Cause they like, yo, them individuals was right. Yo, this dude really cracked the clouds. He took out Babylon. He did what he did. All right, the nukes came and hit, and now you got big so-called Latinos, Native Americans, and Negroes coming out of the sky. Came down like that great city, Jerusalem, man. So it's like, wow, the Bible is real. That's what we told y'all. That's what we said. Right? So verse 3, wherefore have we fasted, say they, and thou seest not. Wherefore have we afflicted our soul, and thou takest no knowledge. Behold, in the day of your fast ye find pleasure, and exact all your labors. Fasting also is something you do in private. It's not, it don't need to be announced. That's like the heathens. That's like these individuals. That's like these Christians, man. They want everybody to know they doing this and doing that. You want everybody to know you gave so-and-so $500. Oh, did this and did. Man, you really got faith. All right? Yahawashi know everything that you did. That's why I just stated that your conscience should be good. You shouldn't be having no guilt. If you did the work, you put your affections up high, you build up your treasures in heaven, then I mean, what you got to worry about? All right? It's all, everything gonna be working out. It's gonna work out. You gonna make them withdrawals in Jacob's trouble. Yahawah gonna have them angels around you as he's always had them angels around you. You know, we got any precepts? All right. Nah, I don't see no precepts. Okay. Let me just put that user in the timeout real quick. All right. If you Ecclesiastes 5:1-3, if you just listen to the lesson, then you'll understand what I believe in. Okay. I believe in the Bible, the 1611 KJV, 100% of it. All 80 books. I believe in the King, which is his true name is Yahawashi, and I believe in the Father, which his true name is Yahawah. All right. That's who we believe in. We don't believe in no cheese and rice, Jesus Christ. All right. So let's keep it going. Verse 4. Behold, ye fast for strife and debate, and to smite with the fist of wickedness. Ye shall not fast as you do this day, to make your voice to be heard on high. Is it such a fast that I have chosen? A day for a man to afflict his soul? Is it to bow down his head as a bulrush, and to spread sackcloth and ashes under him? Wilt thou call this a fast and an acceptable day to Yahawah? Is not this the fast that I have chosen? To loose the bands of wickedness, to undo the heavy burdens, and to let the oppressed go free, and that you break every yoke. What's that yoke? Yoke, back in the day, a yoke would be something you put around a slave. All right, chains. It's also a strong hold, right? Something that's holding you strongly in that sense. So it's there to bind you, to bound you, you know. And you can only break some of these things by fasting and by praying. By these things are fought spiritually. They're not fought carnally or physically. So your physical strength ain't gonna matter when you fighting this type of demon that can come and mess with you, you know, when you sleep, all right, or mess with you, shoot, in your flesh, in your desires, in your mind. It's playing psychological games with you, right? So you can only beat some of these things, man, by like we can say, man, the strongest dude, the biggest dude that be in the gym and all that, right? He gonna break down and cry in Jacob's trouble because he ain't got no mental, spiritual built up. He don't got no he ain't got Ephesians 6. He ain't got that about him. He ain't got that armor, right? So he's gonna break down and he's gonna cry. and he's ultimately gonna get carnal, and he's gonna die. That's that recipe that goes with that carnality that these individuals live in, these Americans, these Babylonians, these Egyptians, right? Brother got a precept, Psalms 91 and 1, KJV. Because he have set his love upon me, therefore will I deliver him. I will set him on high, because he hath known my name. All right. So Yahawah Ba'ashem Yahawashi is going to deal with those that love him, that he has made a friend. We are known in John 15, Yahawashi called us his friends. He tells us what is about to take place. That's why when we look at an individual getting, shot in the face in that video from the ICE agent, right? We understand what that is. It's Jacob's trouble, man. Okay? All you got to do, bro, hey, Matthew 5 and 25, agree with thine adversary quickly. All right? Let's get that. Don't be out here trying to, I think it was a female. I don't know. I got to look into it. I'm going to do a video on it later, but you over here trying to run the ICE agent over. Agree with thine adversary quickly, whilst thou art in the way with him, lest at any time the adversary deliver thee to the judge, and the judge deliver thee to the officer, and thou be cast into prison. So Esau wants you to get carnal with him. Esau wants you to try him, so he can fire up on you. He wants that activity. He wants that behavior. He ready for that. He is what? He's a murderer, bro. All right. Oh, Salaki. So that's what he's on. Okay? He want to get that level with you. He wants you to meet him where he's at. Meet him where he's at. Right? Psalms 44 and 6. For I will not trust in my bow, neither shall my sword save me. Exactly. And King David was what? A mighty man. Okay? Slayed over 10,000. A mighty man. Had mighty men with him that was similar. Slaying 800 at a time, 500, 300. The dirty 30, 37 mighty men that he had under his command.
In Minneapolis is dead.
That's that video. But so he was very familiar with the sword, with the bow. He was very familiar with weapons of war, with warfare. But he knew in that time frame, in this time frame, these things are not going to save you. His salvation, his strength, because I can't say salvation, but his strength, and ultimately salvation, because King David came back being King Masha, right? It did not come from his carnal means. It did not come from how good that he wielded a sword. It came from prayer, from fasting, from this word, from this truth, from Yahawah Ba'ashem Yahawashi. That's where it comes from. That's where all the strength for him to do what he did, how he said, I leapt over a wall, right? I ran through a troop, all because of the strength and power of Yahawah Ba'ashem Yahawashi, not because of his own strength. You know what I'm saying? Somebody said, when is the best time for fasting? Well, I don't see it anymore. But hey, whenever, man. I would say before you fast, you don't want to eat nothing heavy. You want to eat like some salad, because what is salad gonna do? Greens. It's gonna help to purge out and to cleanse out, and then you fast off of that. You let that digest, then you fast, and then afterwards, you don't want to eat nothing heavy. You want to come in with some soup or some fruit. You want to take it easy on your body, because hey, it's been a time in my earlier fasting, like, you come back, you eat some meat, you damn near choke, because your throat is not used to eating, processing this food, especially after you do like a 2-day or a 3-day fast. Your throat like, what is this? Unfamiliar, and nah, you damn near gonna choke on it, man. You gonna choke on the food, all right? Because you wasn't eating, so your digestive system, it shuts down. But what does that allow for your body? that allows you to process information better. Your body is like a computer. That's actually how they made the computer. It's like a computer, right? When you shut down one operating system, which is your digestive system, okay, then your nervous system, your memory, you know, all of that is being heightened, is being increased. That's why you're better able to. You should read and study more when you fasting, right? Because you're going to be able to retain that information at a better rate, right? And you more open to the spirit, man. You know, just to make it simple, you more open to the Holy Spirit, right? Because all this bullshit, all the distractions is gone. You know what I'm saying? All right. Keeping it going back to Isaiah 58. So you're gonna break all those heavy burdens, and to let the oppressed go free, and that ye break every yoke, these strongholds. All right, verse 7. Is it not to deal thy bread to the hungry, and that thou bring the poor that are cast out to thy house, when thou seest the naked, that thou cover him, and that thou hide not thyself from thine own flesh? Then shall thy light break forth as the morning, and thine health shall spring forth speedily. And thy righteousness shall go before thee. The glory of Yahawah shall be thy reward. Where's our reward? The glory of Yahawah. All right? To be with Yahawah by Hashem Yahawashi, that's enough. You know, everything else is a bonus. To have an everlasting body, you know, to all of that. And we're not even doing it for that. We doing it because, hey, we want to get up out of this. Okay? You truly love Yahawah by Hashem Yahawashi. You know? That's why King David, having that spirit, I just want to be a doorman in the kingdom. We ain't doing it for the mansion or the women, the multiple wives, all that. No. You know? That 100-fold. Yeah, these things come, but it is what it is. And we just trying to get up. Man, I'm trying to fuck this devil, bro. Like, yo, I'm tired of this damn devil. Like, yo, man, for real. Verse 9. Then shalt thou call, and Yahawah shall answer. Thou shalt cry, and he shall say, Here I am. Right? If thou take away from the midst of thee the yoke, the putting forth of the finger, and speak in vanity, and if thou draw out thy soul to the hungry, and satisfy the afflicted soul, then shall thy light rise in obscurity, and thy darkness be as the noonday. And Yahawah shall guide thee continually. You know, in the spirit, he gonna deal with you more. The more you fast and pray, the more you deal with him. The more you put time to, you deal with him more. You give him more time, he gonna give you more time. Right? It works like that. You know. So you give him more time. You work with him more. You love him more. The love is gonna increase. Right? And that's what we talking about with your faith being built up. He's been with you. He's been with you. Look. If you ever, really, when you're examining yourself, sit back and think about, go back through your life, even before the truth. Think about when Yahawah by Hashem Yahawashi was there for you. He was there for you always. All right? Always. Shoot, they shot us up with so much stuff as a baby. Okay? Now, you seeing kids getting shot up with that stuff. They coming out autism, Down syndrome. We still here. You know, we got good heads and thoughts and all of that, that we ain't turned like that. You know what I'm saying? So he's with you in that time period when Esau, he got Esau's doctors poking you, taking blood, doing all of this over and over and over. He was with you there from the womb to the tomb. You know, he was with you in the world when you was doing bullshit. You was doing this and doing that. All right, not giving a damn, being a YN or whatever. You know, he was with you then. And now he's with you in the truth, right? So that's why, man, predestinated, preordained, that Ephesians 1 is heavy, you know. And that's why when you praying and fasting, you pray that you be of that number, because you never truly know. You never truly know. Yahawah's trick bag is heavy. It's heavy. Right? Verse 11. And Yahawah shall guide thee continually. That means he don't take no breaks in guiding you. He ain't just going to be with you today and disappear from you tomorrow. like that. No. You know, and satisfy thy soul in drought, and make fat thy bones, and thou shalt be like a watered garden, full of that living water, and like a spring of water whose waters fail not, full of that, it never fails. It continuously comes out of thy belly. It flows out of thy mouth, man. And they that shall be of thee shall build the old waste places. Thou shalt raise up the foundations of many generations, and thou shalt be called the repairer of the breach, the restorer of paths to dwell in. You know. So let me see, any comments, any precepts? I don't see no precepts. Make sure. The brother said, Khan, our blessings is not the sword. We have Yahawah, Yahawashi, Khan. And that goes into, furthermore, just a sense of not being carnal, where brothers may have the sword. You can know how to use the sword. You could do all of that. Hey, you could be an expert sniper, right? But guess what? That's not gonna get you through Jacob's trouble. I'm for real though. You know, like you could be like that. You could be him. You could be damn John Wick, right? But John Wick got shot too. Right? You ain't gonna make it through Jacob's trouble, man. All right. The only way you making it through is Yahawah Ba'ashem Yahawashi. And prayer and fasting, as I put in the title, is a 1-2 punch to knock a demon out, you know? So that is something that you gotta, if you haven't been using it, use it to get you through every moment. Even pray and fast when nothing going wrong. When you good, when you got your finance, boy, when you got money, when you got women, you got cars, you got houses, whatever, all that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? When you in good, you know what I'm saying? He brought you up. You're rich in a sense, which you ain't really. Ain't none of us rich. I don't care if you got I don't care you got $50 million. You not rich, all right? You know what I'm saying? So money ain't nah. This is not our rest. But just, man, you know what I'm saying? Financially stable, all right? Still praying fast, all right? It's a scripture I've been looking for it. Remember the times when you was down, and remember the times when you was up. It's in the Apocrypha, but I gotta find it. But hey, that's pretty much it. I don't see no precepts, so I'm gonna end it right there. All right, the water for the precepts and brothers coming through. You know, hey, Shalom, hey, giving all praises, honor, and glory be to the Heavenly Father and His Son, Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rakaha Kadash. Double honors to the apostles of the great millstone. Shalom to the Lord's hopeful elect. As always, Kwam Yasha Allah and a Baba Ba. All right, let's get up out of here, man. Hey, a lot happening. It's beautiful. You know, what, man, Russia, they got an oil tanker. You can look this up. America is basically trying to confiscate it, and Russia is threatening to send a missile. You know, so that's taking place. It's a lot of bluffs going on. In the meantime of the distractions, Israel launched a couple missiles at Hamas and Hezbollah, whatever. France and Britain attacked Syria, okay? You know, an Islamic group, whatever they claim. So you got these devils is moving, okay? There's so many pieces going on across the board. These devils is moving like crazy, you know what I'm saying? So we ain't short of prophecies. We ain't short of information to report. You know what I'm saying? So hey, watchmen watch. All right, shalom, shalom.